welcome back to my channel. In case you are new here, hi, my name is Bia and I am truly passionate about all things beauty. In today's video, I am going to show you how I create this super sparkly makeup look, and I am also going to talk about kind of the hard truth of being a content creator slash influencer slash whatever you want to call it. I am going to be talking about the things that people usually don't talk about and you cannot see it on that side of the screen. So if you are a content creator like me and you want to see if you can relate to this, or if you are just curious about the life of a content creator, just keep on watching. But first, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and also to leave this video a like. So guys, obviously I'm going to start by doing the eye makeup because that's kind of my thing, and I've already prepped the base for the eyeshadows. I only applied a little bit of concealer, and by the way, I use a Shape Tape from Tarte and a little bit of translucent setting powder, and we are ready to move on to eyeshadows. The eyeshadow palette that I'm going to be using today is this one from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Soft Glam. The first eyeshadow that I'm taking is this one called Dusty Rose, and I'm using a 228 from Zoeva, which is a blending brush, to apply it and blend it all over my crease. So guys, in today's video, the main thing that I want to talk about is that being a content creator is not as easy as it seems, trust me. The thing that I feel like people don't realize is the work that goes behind the scenes. Like when you see a tutorial or just a regular reels, that reels might actually take so many hours to produce and edit, and if we include the part in which we are trying to come up with ideas of valuable content, the hours extend even further. For me personally, like if you follow me on Instagram, you know how many makeup tutorials I like to post. Like that's my favorite thing to film and to do because it is kind of the most related to makeup as I can possibly go. But like that takes me so many hours to produce that I can only produce one reels per day if I'm filming and editing as well. And I do this full time, so trust me when I say that it takes a lot of hours. And another thing that kind of leaves people thinking that this is very easy is that most people don't take into account the fact that to be a content creator, you do not only have to have the set of skills related to the things that you're passionate about, in my case, makeup skills, but also you have to kind of acquire skills to produce content. And those are kind of the worst, you guys. It's a lot of work. Now I'm going in with the Scattered Light Glitter eyeshadow in the shade Smoke. This is from Hourglass. As you can see, it is this kind of pinkish and ashy color. I personally love to apply this with my fingers, but since I started doing my nails again, after quarantine, my nails are not getting in there. As I was saying about the skills that you have to acquire to be a content creator, for me personally, I have always sucked at photography. I'm not kidding when I say that I have no talent to take photos of myself, of people around me. That's something that I really had to learn, because it's not only about the makeup look that you do or the outfit that you put on, it's also about the photos that you take, because that's kind of I don't want to say what sells, but that's kind of what keeps you interested in the piece of content that you are looking at. The makeup can be very, very basic, but if the photo is bomb, it's pretty much all done. And it's not only that, if you are producing video content, you also have to think about video editing, learning how to get around with those softwares, learning how to do your thing, and also finding your style and finding how you can edit things to match kind of your vibe and your aesthetic and your personality. So it is definitely not just about the skills that you naturally have and that you want to produce content around, but also the skills that you have to acquire to make sure that you can produce good content. Now I am going to do my eyeliner using the Inglot AMC eyeliner in the shade 77. This is the classic black shade. And by the way, I am using the 317 from Zoeva, which is their wing liner brush. When I say these things about being a content creator, by no means I am trying to say that this is too hard and there is no benefit to it. The only thing that I'm trying to tell you guys is that if you are thinking about becoming a content creator, do so because you are actually passionate about the job, because it will require so much effort and so much love and so much resilience, trust me, that if you don't really like what you're doing, you are kind of more lean to just giving up along the way. I just feel like people romanticize the life of influencers way too much without even realizing the work that goes behind the scenes. Now I am taking Noir, which is this black eyeshadow, and the brush 238, also from Zuiva. This is the Luxe Precise shader to smoke out the eyeliner. One massive difference that I totally noticed compared to when I had like a regular 9 to 5 corporate job is that when it comes to being a content creator, you have this pressure on your shoulders. I'm not even kidding, but like, I don't know if you relate to this, but I definitely did this in the past. I shouldn't even be saying it, but who cares? When I was working on a corporate job, like if I didn't want to do something, I kind of knew that somebody else would do it for me, like because we were a team. So if I really wasn't feeling like doing a certain task on one day, like it was fine. Like we could all kind of like split things in between us, and if I didn't do something, somebody else probably would. And if I wasn't so focused one day, it would be completely fine, because honestly, when it comes to working for others, you kind of always have that little bit of mentality like, this is not my problem. I don't know, at least I always felt like it. I wouldn't give 200% of me on any job because I was working towards somebody else's dreams. And honestly, I always felt in the jobs that I was on that nobody really gave a damn. I was so replaceable that I didn't really give such a damn about the job. I know that this might sound bad, but it's honestly my opinion. Like when you are working for somebody else's, you will never worry and care as much as when you do when you work for yourself. That's the truth, honestly. Like you might care a lot for a job, but if you are working for yourself and you are the one making your income, trust me, you will then learn what is actually to care about your job. Because if you don't work, you don't earn. And that is kind of the pressure that I always feel as a content creator, is that if I don't work enough, if I don't feel like editing, then the video is not edited. Like it is that simple. Like if I don't work, nobody else is going to do it for me. So when I stop working, the next time that I pick up and start working again, things are exactly as I left them. And that is kind of a pressure that we all have to deal with as content creators. Like if you don't do something, you will have to do it later. There is no point in postponing things because you will have to do them anyways. Obviously, this doesn't apply to bigger influencers. They obviously have like other giant influencer problems, but they have managers and stuff. They sometimes have video editors, which I'm very jealous about, by the way. Honestly, as a small content creator, this is something that I definitely struggle with. It really all comes down to, if you don't do things yourself, like things won't be done. Like if you don't fight to build an audience, to build like a personal brand online, nobody else is going to do it for you. You really have to take all the steps. That is fine. Honestly, I have so much fun doing all of this because I'm truly passionate about what I do. Not only makeup, but like content creation. I am so passionate about all of it that I have fun like learning new skills and kind of doing it all myself, having more control over the creative process. You kind of start learning how to deal with that pressure that I was talking about, and like managing your own time, managing priorities. Okay guys, I'm gonna be honest, like for someone who sucks at multitasking like I do, I think I'm doing pretty well, but let me know your opinion about how this video is going down below in the comment section. So guys, and now moving on to complexion, I'm going in with the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer, which is this one right here. I honestly love to use this primer whenever I have to spend a lot of hours wearing makeup. Like this really makes it stay and not move around at all. And it also has SPF. It only has SPF 15, which is not much, but it is always good. This will give you such a velvety feeling to the skin. It just feels so smooth. Now moving on to foundation, I'm going in with this one from NARS. You guys know how much I love this foundation. This is the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. And I am using a buffer brush from Zuiva. This is the 104. And guys, still on the topic of having to do everything yourself, which obviously gives you a lot more control over the creative process, and I don't know, I just find it very fun. It will make you work so many hours. I feel like people think that influencers do not work a lot of hours. I mean, they are at the gym in the middle of the morning, but guys, the work that goes behind the scenes is something that even myself, like I was always pretty much aware because I knew that I wanted to be a content creator. Even I wasn't aware the actual amount of hours that I would be working. Honestly, at this point, I'm pretty much okay with it, but I definitely wasn't aware that I would be working a lot of hours during the day and I would even have some work to do on the weekends. But since I truly love this, I honestly don't mind at this point. But the thing that kind of comes with it is that it gets a little bit too hard to disconnect from your work because, first of all, you kind of are working with what you love, which is naturally something that you think about a lot more than any other thing. And also, when you have to work such long hours and you have to work a little bit even on the weekends, and I'm not even talking about those content creators that still have a regular job because, oh my god, I went through that and it's hard. It is very, very hard. I was barely getting any sleep back then. But as I was saying, like, it is so hard to disconnect when you have to kind of build your own schedule. Like, building your own schedule plus having to work a lot is kind of the disaster recipe for not being completely able to disconnect from work. Now to contour and bronze my face a little bit, I am going in with the Tempter from Huda Beauty, which is this one right here. I use it in the shade Light because I feel like these tend to go a little bit too dark. And guys, this formula is just so good. Like, I've actually repurchased it. Like, I could actually hit pan with this product because it is honestly so good. It blends like a dream. It doesn't lift my foundation, which is something that I definitely appreciate because this kind of thicker formulas sometimes do that. And the shade, I don't know, it doesn't make me look ashy. It doesn't make me look orange. It's just the perfect balance of warm and neutral tones. And I'm applying it with a sculpting brush from Real Techniques. I know that I look crazy, but I always start applying it with this brush and then I go in with a sponge to kind of blend it out and give it a more natural effect, but I do most of the blending with this. The sponge is really just to blend out the edges and all of that stuff. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is paid partnerships with brands. Like, I am a nano influencer. I think that's the correct term because I have a very small following, even though I consider myself like someone with a little bit of influence because I know what I'm capable to do for a brand, but that's a whole other thing. But anyways, like, getting paid collabs with brands is not as easy as people make it seem. Like, first of all, when you are a very small content creator, it is normal to be a little bit harder for brands to kind of find you online and see like why they should work with you because there are so many people creating content nowadays. It is fine if it's harder for brands to find you, and I know that it's good kind of for the ego when brands reach out to you and say, hey, we want to work with you, blah blah blah. But especially if you are a smaller content creator, don't be afraid of reaching out to brands at all. Like, if you want to work with a certain brand, just reach out to them. You are not going to be the first or the last person. Like, I reach out to brands tons and tons and tons of times because I know that if I don't do that, I will just have to sit and wait around for brands to reach out to me. And honestly, I have accomplished some of my collabs because of that, and I am honestly not regretting it, you guys. Like, you really have to reach out to brands. Like, pitch yourself, present yourself, like, talk about your demographics, like what is your audience, what you post about, and how like the partnership would be beneficial for both parties. Because when it comes to partnerships, you should never like reach out to a brand and kind of like see how you would benefit from the partnership, like the fact that you would be gifted items or anything like that. You should always put it in a perspective that makes it seem very beneficial for both parties and actually being beneficial, you know. You should always like explain the brand why they should work with you. For me, for instance, like, I explain the brand that I have a super engaged audience. Like, my engagement rate is above the average engagement rate for people with my following, and that I can produce some very high quality content for them. Because if you have seen my Instagram, you know that even my reels are not filmed with a phone. I actually use professional equipment, and like, even my editing, I don't find it super beginner. Like, I try to be creative, and because of the great quality, I can even say like, I will be more than happy to give you usage rights to use this content in blah blah blah. Basically, just pitch to the brands, say how it would benefit both parties, say what you can provide for the brand, and if you have a media kit, also send them that, because I feel like the media kit really makes you look like a professional and really sets the tone with brands. But guys, don't think that just because you reach out to brands, they will want to work with you. The hard truth is that most brands will probably ignore you or say that they have no partnerships available at the moment or anything like that. But don't worry, because no matter how many rejections or how many times you might be ghosted or left on red or anything like that, there are some brands that will be way more than happy to work with you. Like, it has happened to me so many times, like brands saying that they have no partnerships available, and then 1 week after I see like them collaborating with some other influencer that has simply a bigger following than I do. But it's completely fine, don't worry, because some brands will want to work with you. For concealer, I'm going in with the Shape Tape from Tarte, guys. This is very well loved. I don't know why, but this golden thing on the cap really like takes off very soon, but who cares? The formula is great, and that's honestly all I care about. One thing that I always felt as a beauty lover is that I honestly never had that group of friends that shared the same interests as I did. Like, I really don't know where my love for makeup came from. I feel like it genuinely came from myself, because ever since I was a little girl, like, I would love to watch tutorials on YouTube. I actually wanted to have my own YouTube channel when I was very, very little. I created one, but I was way too, like, ashamed of posting a video. I always felt like it was so cringe. Like, social media wasn't what it is now. Like, nowadays, being a content creator is like a normal career. I mean, it's not normal, but like, it's not such a taboo. People are starting to believe that this can actually be a career. And one thing that social media truly gave me is a lot of like people and acquaintances that share the same interests that I do. And sometimes I can even talk to other people, like, regardless of where they are. Like, I can talk to them about makeup, about product recommendations, about like the best formulas for a specific product type, techniques. Like, it is so much fun. Like, online, being a content creator, you meet so many people that are doing the same as you, or at least something similar, and you can share your passions. Like, it is so much fun. Now I'm going to set my complexion with some setting spray. I always apply like multiple rounds of setting spray when I'm doing my makeup. Like, the first one is always after I apply all of my creamy formulas, and the setting spray that I'm going to be using is this one from NYX. This is the setting spray with the matte finish. The setting powder that I'm going in with is this one from Laura Mercier. I am always using the same powder. I'm so sorry, you guys, but I truly love this formula so much that I don't feel like changing it up anytime soon. This is the translucent loose setting powder. You know, the classic one. I really want to try the one that is kind of light reflector. I think that it's the a light catcher something, I don't know, but it's the one from Laura Mercier that is a little bit more for like glowy and dewy finishes. Still on the topic of money, one of the questions that I get asked the most, and I'm not even kidding when I say that pretty much everyone asks me this, is it possible to make money with such a small following? And my answer to your question is yes, as long as you have something valuable to provide. Like, if you are doing something that adds value to your audience and that makes you connect with them, or even if you can add value to a certain business by, for instance, produce content for them, it is possible to earn money. Like, for me personally, I make money in 2 different ways for now. Obviously, I definitely want to increase my sources of income, but the main 2 ways in which I am making money right now is through sponsored collaborations, which means that brands pay me to promote their products and to produce content for them, and affiliate marketing. Like, even if you don't have a lot of following, you might actually make some decent money out of these 2 sources. I actually didn't even realize how people would listen to my product recommendations and how people would really trust me until I signed it up for affiliate marketing on different platforms. There, I really figured out that people actually cared about my opinions. People actually look forward for me to recommend certain types of products. After a while, people actually said like, oh, I bought this and this because you recommended it, and oh my god, I'm in love. And that is so nice, honestly, you guys, because that just shows that you don't even have to have a massive following to be able to have some sort of influence. I am obviously recommending products that I truly love and use and repurchase. I honestly bought most of them, so I definitely only promote and only recommend products that I would use myself, that I actually use myself, because otherwise you might see your reputation ruin. Obviously, like if you are recommending people stuff that doesn't really work, people are going to find out sooner or later, so you might as well just promote products that are actually good and worth the money. Now I'm going in with the Hoola from Benefit. I honestly love this bronzer and I am planning on switching up the bronzer soon. I promise you guys. Like, I really want to try new formulas because there are so many good bronzers out there. But anyways, like when it comes to affiliate marketing, you obviously are not going to make money on the same scale as like those massive influencers. It is normal because the money that you make out of affiliate marketing kind of grows with your following because you have more audience. That just makes sense. But you can start making money even with a small audience, and you can like see how actually things work. Like, people will trust your recommendation, and sometimes brands will even prefer to work with smaller content creators because the audiences tend to be so engaged, which is something very attractive to brands. It is one of those key statistics that brands really care about, sometimes even more than follower counts, which also makes me want to talk about another thing. Like, when you are a small content creator, like, you tend to look for other content creators and see what they're doing, see what brands are collaborating with them, because if they are collaborating with another smaller content creator, the chances are that they might also collaborate with you. That's one of the great ways to find brands that might want to work with you and with your kind of following and reach and all of that. But like, one thing that people always tell is that, oh, brands nowadays don't care so much about the following count, they care about the engagement rate. And for some brands that might actually be true, but like for some other brands, like I see brands following and adding people, like, no shame to my friends, I'm not talking to any of you, like, but sometimes I see brands like adding people to PR and collaborating with people that might go social media for 2 months in a row, then post 1 week, then goes for another month, just because they have a bigger following. Because I don't know if you know, but like before, like it was a lot easier to grow on Instagram. I feel like nowadays it's harder to grow unless you are growing, for instance, on TikTok and you kind of cross promote yourself, but that's a whole other topic. But I feel like brands don't really like pay attention to the details that matter, because smaller content creators might push your product, your service, whatever it is, to their niche, and their niche might be highly engaged. And who knows, maybe you will end up being surprised with the amount of sales and how much traffic their influencer brought to your website, to your store. And honestly, you don't even pay them the same amount of money. Like, the amount of money that a brand pays to an influencer with 50k followers is not the same that the brand is going to pay to someone with 5,000 or someone like me who hasn't even reached 2k. But like, I don't know, like sometimes I feel like brands really say those things because they are nice to say, but they don't really feel them and mean them. But anyways, that's just some brands. Some brands really do want to work with smaller content creators. Like, they really do. I feel that myself. Like, some brands want to work with me because they see the quality in my content and the quality in the engagement that my audience has with me. Okay guys, so now for blush, I am going in with something very subtle, which is this one from Tarte. This is the Amazonian Clay Blush, and the one that I have is in the shade Exposed. As you can see, it is a very soft neutral pink shade, and I honestly love this type of blush whenever I don't want to go in with a ton of color. And one other thing that I truly admire in this blush is that it actually lasts. Like, when they say 12-hour blush, they are not joking. And one thing that I notice across like most blushes is that blushes tend to fade away so quickly. I don't know where they go, but like they just vanish. Now for highlighter, I'm going in with this one from Becca. This is the Shimmering Skin Perfector. The one that I have is in the shade Moonstone, which I think that is now discontinued, but the most hyped shades, you can still find them at Smashbox, because I don't know if you knew, but Becca is now closed and Smashbox bought this formula and some others so that we don't have to live without it. I'm going to apply it in the highest points of my face. So yeah guys, still on the topic of brands working with us, like, even though it kind of infuriates me when I feel like I'm putting so much love and effort into stuff, and sometimes I'm kind of blocked from opportunities just because I don't have a big following. Even though that hurts a little bit because I know how much love and effort I put into what I do, I still feel like it is fine. Like, if this brand doesn't want to work with me, like someone else will. And you don't have to work with all brands. Like, you only have to work with the ones that also see value in what you do and appreciate your work and are not completely blinded by numbers. And if you want to get noticed by brands, don't forget to always tag them. Use the hashtags that they follow. That's a great tip. Like, do not only tag them, because sometimes, especially with bigger brands, there are millions of people tagging them. So also use the hashtags that they follow, because that way, even though they don't follow you, you will still show up on their feed because they follow that specific hashtag. And yeah, just be consistent, produce high quality content, produce something that is very cohesive. Like, once somebody goes to your feed, they have to immediately know what you produce content about. Like, your bio has to mention it, your feed has to clearly tell. Like, if you open my Instagram, you will see makeup. Like, you will see some other stuff like outfit photos, like lifestyle content, like spend the day with me, like vlogs, get ready with me, but it will mostly be makeup. So as soon as you open my Instagram page, you will see like a lot of beauty content, so you will immediately know that I'm mostly a beauty influencer and content creator. And yeah guys, I think that is pretty much it. Okay guys, so now for lips, I'm going to start by lining my lips using this MAC pencil. This is in the shade Whirl, and honestly, I'm running out of it, and this is not even the best shade for the lipstick that I'm going to be applying. But surprise, surprise, I barely have any lip pencils. I really need to invest in some lip pencils because I truly love to have that kind of gradient effect. And with the ones that I have, I cannot achieve that with most of my lipsticks. Guys, I actually changed my mind, so I ended up filling in my lips with the same pencil. This is very creamy, so it slides on very gently on the lips. And I was about to wear this lipstick. This is from Fenty, but I think that I'm only going to apply gloss because I don't want my lips to look super dark, because even though the eye makeup is not as dramatic as I usually go, if you see my Instagram, you know what I'm talking about. Still, it is pretty intense, so I want to keep my lips a little bit more low-key. And I am using the Fenty gloss. This is the Gloss Bomb, and the one that I have is in the shade Sweet Mouth, which is my favorite. One final round of setting spray. I'm using the same one from NYX. And we are good to go as soon as it dries. Hey guys, I am back. So things changed a bit. I decided to still apply the lipstick. The one that I use is the Skuna Lip Paint in the shade Uncuffed. This is from Fenty Beauty, and I honestly love their formula so much. And I feel like my lips needed a little bit of an even color, so I decided to pretty much keep all of the products but add this one. I hope that you found this video useful, and I honestly hope that you now know more about being a content creator and what it takes. And by no means I want to say that you shouldn't try to become a content creator. I'm just saying that if you want to become a content creator, be passionate about it, because it takes a lot of resilience, it takes a lot of no's, and it takes a lot of hard work until you actually start earning something. So if you want to be a content creator, go for it, but just keep this in mind that you have to be really passionate about what you're doing. And if you are passionate about it, trust me, there is nothing that can stop you. So yeah guys, I hope to see you on the next video. In case you haven't already, please subscribe before you leave this video, and also leave it a like. And I'm going to leave another video in here so you guys can keep pretty much seeing my face and dealing with my attitude. So yeah guys, that is it for today's video. Bye, and I hope to see you in the next one.